So earlier today I was watching a video by Iskall 85 about a smart elevator. In the elevator he started off quite well, but then he got a little bit confused about how he was going to deal with flipping past pages, and I think things got a little bit overcomplicated from there. So most of this video is basically a copy of his build. I just sort of feel like there was a much simpler solution to where he went in the end. So we have a lectern. In the lectern you can pick a page and you can go to the first floor. We can just fall down here to go back. We might want to go to the fourth floor. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we might want to go to the sixth floor. There is no sixth floor, so they'll set us off the top. All the way over to the top. Now, this is actually quite a simple design, so based off Iskall's video. I don't know if this is his design or not, but it is based off his video. You have a lectern, there's a comparator reading it. It feeds into a system that takes the variable input from the lectern and turns it into a digital output. So as we can see, these torch towers show which of the pages it's on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So pick page 3, it'll be this torch tower. We can see, I must have 24 there, 3. So it's on this torch tower, and then if we go to page 5, it'll be that torch. 1, 2. So we can see we've got a signal coming up. So it just basically takes a variable signal from the comparator and turns it into one of these torch towers. And then the rest of it, Iskall's trying to make it so that the buckets work correctly out of the dispensers. Not really sure why things got so complicated, because in the end we just need a rising and falling edge detector. So when there's a rising edge, which we have on this one, the piston pushes the observer out and it pulses the dispenser, and that causes the dispenser to take away the bucket. So now the bubbles are stopping on this floor. Right? If that falls, then the dispenser pulls back in and triggers it again to put the bucket back. So if we flip past a page, what will happen is this dispenser will turn on, take the water away, but because we flip past, a little while later it'll pull it back and put the water back. So yes, as you flip past the page, it's moving buckets more than it needs to, but it always returns them to the state that it needs to do. And this is just simply because we do a pulse both on the rising and the falling edge. The only other tricky part is, of course, we need to have a repeater in here, because we want to make sure that if this is like 0 pulse, it's still extended out. Let me just get an observer to demonstrate this. We get an observer. It's a good way of getting a single pulse. I'm going to put a repeater on it. And I'll just run the signal around this way. So when we put a block in front of that, you'll notice that it extends the pulse. So a repeater can just basically take what is a 0 tick pulse and make it a little bit longer. And that's all we need. We just need to make sure we get 2 distinct pulses. So we just need one repeater to achieve that. And this is really all that's needed for a smart elevator. I'm not even going to do a tutorial on it. I'll just fly around some of the components. So we have a dispenser with either a full bucket or an empty bucket. The bucket should be full, and there should be no water source block here when the pistons are extended. If the piston's retracted, then that should be a water source block and there should be an empty bucket in there. The return slot is just a 4. This is a water source block with a slab on the bottom of it to make it easier to walk out. A lectern. The book has 16 pages. The reason it has 16 pages is just simply so that the comparator goes up in steps of 1. You don't have to write something on every page. You just have, empty floors. Over here, the comparator feeds into something that spreads the pulse out along the top and then into repeaters. So this is the top level of this digitalizer. This is the bottom level. There's some knots over here, some torches feeding into these blocks, and then it's just a torch tower. So really, really simple to build a smart elevator where you select which floor you want to go on and then you just go to it. There's other ways we could probably vary this. We might want to make it so that when you pick a page, it only picks it for a little while, so we could just have like an AND signal. So that would just mean putting an observer on the comparator, have it feed into a page signal, run that up, make sure there's some sort of AND switch, so that when you turn to a page, it's only active for a little while, and then you could fall down the same one. I think that's a bit overkill. If you're going for this much redstone, you might as well just say, look, you come back to something next to it. The only other possible improvement I want to talk about is it is possible to just send up the variable signal. So what we have here is just a comparator ladder. So as you can see, it's reading 3 strength here, 3 strength there. If I turn on the 4th strength one, it's now 4 here, 5 there and there. If I turn that off and that off and that on, it's both 2 strength, 3 strength, 4 strength, 5 strength. So as you can see, we could actually, instead of doing multiple torch towers up if that's not desirable, it is possible to just send up the variable signal as well. Whether that's better or not, up for debate. Because even if you did that, you'd then have to decode it at each level rather than just at the bottom. For simplicity's sake, I like this design better. So there you have it. Smart elevators, you really don't have to use a lot of redstone, and they don't have to be too complicated. We've got one piece of slime for each of those pistons, an observer for each of those pistons, and then everything else is really basic redstone: comparators, repeaters, and torches. Thank you for watching.